the other thing we're going to look at is Ubisoft's presentation. In fact, let's bring up the screen share in the background, and we can have that going on.
We're
in the background.
not going to sit here and talk through the entire thing. Don't worry.
We're just going to have it playing in the background, so you can see some of the footage.
Talking about our hits.
Yeah, so they showed off about 10 games. Some which you might know about. Some that most of them are. In fact, I think most of them are old IPs which have got new sequels in them and stuff, or DLC and things like that. But there's been a couple of new IPs that they showed off. What were your highlights, guys, out of this? I could go through this, but I don't think that's worth it at the moment. What do you think?
I, to be honest, didn't really care, except for that Rider Republic game, only because you mentioned Ram. Nothing struck a chord with me.
Okay.
Not even Rocksmith is interesting, but I don't think it makes sense the direction they're going with, like downloadable subscription type stuff. But the way that it's going at that point, it's like, if we were in a pandemic forever, that would make sense. Otherwise, go take guitar lessons. But I don't know. Yeah, other than Riders Republic, nothing really stood out to me.
Oh, okay, fair. Chris, what about you? Any standout games for you on this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Rainbow Six Extraction looked really good. That was something I totally wasn't expecting. And I'll say this, I hate these war games now. Like, I played the old Medal of Honor, and I did that, Modern Warfare, and Battlefront for a little bit. And then I just got tired of them because there's just so many of them. And so I have zero interest in them. And this is one of the first kind of modern-esque combat war games that look pretty badass. Granted, there's aliens and other weird shit in it, and that's what makes me excited about it. But at least it's like, hey, it's a Rainbow Six game that actually makes me interested in it. And I can't tell you the last time I was interested in a Rainbow Six game. Outside of that,
before you get away from that game, did you ever play the Resistance series on PS3, Chris?
I really enjoyed the Resistance stuff, but I didn't play through all of them. But it did give me some Resistance vibes. It doesn't seem as dark as Resistance. But I think there is certainly room in like the high end first person shooter genre for a more monster and kind of sci-fi-esque shooter in this style of gameplay, so I'm looking forward to it. Outside of that, I will say, I was talking to Graham before the show, this got me really excited to go back and play some of the old Far Cry games, because Far Cry 6 looks so cool to me. I'm really excited for that. So I went on Xbox Live and or the Xbox Store and ended up getting Far Cry 3, 4, and 5 in some bundle for like $12 this past week. In addition to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and that was like $3-4. And so I've been playing through that, and I'm really stoked for Far Cry 6. Outside of that, those are the two standouts for me. But I'm really excited. I'm jumping back in the Far Cry series now, and I plan to play through all of them and be ready for the next one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I guess I'll clarify, and maybe this will jump into yours, Graham. I said what game I was excited for and didn't say what it was at all, like describe the game at all, because the name doesn't Riders Republic anything. But it's essentially extreme sports open world game, which I think is long overdue, and I'm kind of surprised that hasn't existed. So Graham and I were saying we were both pumped for that, as long as like you have a group to play with, because otherwise if there's nobody in there, MMO, it's basically going to be a post-apocalyptic game on a dirt bike. So I was kind of interested in quite a few of the games. So Rainbow Six Extraction, which is the game that's sort of still showing in the background there, I was interested in. Far Cry 6, I really enjoy the Far Cry games. Far Cry 3 is still my favourite by far, but I have enjoyed the other ones. But I'm hoping Far Cry 6 will bring it back to its peak level of Far Cry 3, because the story and the way the game progressed in Far Cry 3 was so good to me. It was an open world game that felt like you were progressing quite well, whereas the other ones just feel like an open world game where there's lots of empty stuff to do, like pointless tasks to do, whereas Far Cry 3 felt a bit more substantial.
I feel like I want to try to push through the story as quickly as I can and not mess with too much side quests. Do you feel like if I do that in Far Cry 3, I'm going to miss a lot of it, or can I kind of push through, get through the main story, and kind of get on with the next one?
You can push through, yeah. You there's like the side quests and stuff in Far Cry 3 aren't that big a deal. You can just unlock better, like, equipment and things like that, really, by doing that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's not like they've got proper full-on side stories that you have to pay attention to. But yeah, in fact, let's bring up Riders Republic so we can show some of that in the background. Sorry, just finding where it is in the thing. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. Right. So yeah, this is the Riders Republic bit. Oh no, an advert's going to pop up. Oh no. Okay, one second. I'm going to have to skip away from that.
I thought we had the YouTube Premium or whatever.
I have not set that up yet. Sorry. I was talking about doing it and I haven't. So yeah, this is Riders Republic that's showing off in the background. As Scotty sort of mentioned, it's like an open world extreme sports game. And this has kind of got me excited because it reminds me of a Dreamcast game called Sega Extreme Sports, or in America it's just called Extreme Sports. And yeah, in that game, it's weird. Like, they kind of had these big open map areas, basically, but you were kind of restricted on where you could go in the Sega Extreme Sports, whereas this looks like a proper full open world adventure game, basically, like the Forza Horizon games, with lots of different extreme sports. And it just looks a bit crazy, like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm definitely up for this. But as Scotty said, you probably do need a group of players like to go around with you. I think it's an online-only game, so I think there will always be people around. But yeah, I think it'd just definitely be more fun if you got like a little squad.
Oh, if we get a Megavisions team together and just do something like this, would probably be so much fun. I'm all in. I'm all in if you guys want to do this.
I mentioned that it's like this was kind of when I was getting out of Nickelodeon cartoon shows, but if anybody remembers Rocket Power, it looks like if they took that show and made it into a video game, basically, because that's just kids on a boardwalk pier that are just like, let's go skateboard. It's time to aggressive inline, whatever. Let's snowboard. That doesn't make
sense. Yeah. I remember Chris saying he can't watch YouTube videos of this, like, BMXing.
Oh, I was freaking out on the stream when we were doing this. I was like, I hate it, man.
I love it.
I have a fear of heights. I'm not to the point where it's like a phobia or anything, but I really don't like them. I get uneasy and stuff. And this freaks me out.
Yeah. I do get, when I'm playing games, if I'm jumping off of a ledge or something, like even the new Spider-Man game, my stomach jumps a little bit.
Wow. I don't like it.
So I'm there with you. But this looks fun. I love that there's a fucking, like, they're going around this snowboard park, essentially. That's not how snowboarding works, but that's okay because this is a video game.
It's not downhill at all. But this looks like something I could probably get my kids to play with me.
Yeah.
And there's not very many games I can say that about.
Yeah, I hope there's some sort of split screen because, yeah, what's going to happen if you hop on and for even an hour, you know? So, hopefully.
Yeah. These rocket pack things are freaking awesome as well. Look at that. And it kind of reminds me of Pilot Wings as well, in a weird way.
Boy.
Oh, man.
Pilot Wings,
all right, what else
Canyon
we got?
Edition.
So, yeah. A couple of other big games they sort of mentioned at Ubisoft were the Mario and Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. I'm just going to bring that up as well quickly. There you go. Jump to that bit. And, yeah, so this is, if you don't know, it's they're like the sequel to the Mario Rabbids game. So it's a XCOM style game. So it's a sort of strategy combat game, basically. And yeah, it looks fun. I don't really know what to say.
I don't think we need to explain that one. People pretty much know what's going on with that. It's cool that there's another one.
Yeah, definitely. And
I liked Ubisoft though. I know a lot of people. It was funny because as I watched it, I was like, wow. I thought Ubisoft showed some good stuff there, and I'm pretty stoked with what they showed. But it seemed like a lot of other people weren't very happy with it.
Yeah, I was quite happy with it. And this what we're looking at right now is the new Avatar game, which I thought was quite cool. I mean, it looks decent. I can't remember if they said this is in-game engine or in-game visuals and stuff. This is
using the Halo Infinite engine.
That's right, yeah. It's going to be a first-person game, not a first-person shooter. They've said that. It's a first-person game, which makes sense because they don't really see this as being a full-up shooting game. Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
I don't think they shoot anything. Or they do use guns, I guess, don't they?
You just take pictures. It's like Pokemon Snap. That's all you're doing in it.
Yeah, this is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which I'm not sure if it's set at the same time as the next movie or if it's between movies or something.
I mentioned, I think Chris said something while we were watching this, or while you were watching that or something, and because I think you said something like, I'm not sure if this takes place during this one. I think they might have, updated the story, and I was like, oh, are you telling me they've updated?
Oh, Scotty, you cut out just as you're saying the most important bit of your sentence just then.
That's usually everything I say is the most important. What was the last thing?
It's like
the punchline.
The punchline, basically.
I was just saying, like, are you telling me that a movie, they've changed the plot or anything, the story with a movie that's been in development for 12 years?
Yeah,
that's true.
And
this looks good. I mean, I don't know what to say other than, I can't say it looks good because we don't know what it's at all going to be like. This is basically like the Halo Infinite trailer. It's just showing you stuff in the world. And I'll say this, I fucking love Avatar, so I'm on board with it. I want to play more of it. I'm looking forward to the next Avatar movie. But this doesn't really show me anything. It looks cool, but it's just Avatar stuff. It's not showing you any gameplay or anything.
Yeah, for all we know, this could be the TV series.
Yeah. And Happy Dude says, a video game for a sequel to a 12-year-old movie. Why? But I don't know. Happy Dude, I don't know if you realize that
because it made like $94 trillion.
Yeah, but they're also releasing a new movie, so that's kind of what this is tying into. Yeah. So that's kind of why.
Yeah, I mean, GoldenEye came out like 3 years after the movie, so don't worry.
Yeah,
it'll be relevant in some way, shape, or form.
Hello folks, Graham from Megavisions here. What you just saw is a clip from the latest episode of the Megavisions show. Be sure to check out the full video here. And we do also have an audio version of the show available on our website, megavisionsmag.com. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out more of our videos. Cheers everyone.